Hey, 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 welcome back to another episode of The In-Between. I'm your host, Elizabeth Cheney, and we are here in June, everyone. June. How did we get here? Goodness gracious me. How are y'all doing? It says 6 months in, and I have to be honest with you, and honest with myself, I guess, at this point. There are not as many things I thought would be checked off my to-do list at this point in the year. So that is one, motivating, but also like, get your shit together, Liz. Which, sure, motivating, yeah. But it's June. It's also Pride Month. Woohoo! It's super exciting there. Now it's time to bust out my favorite movie of all time, To Wong Fu. I'm just kidding. I don't need Pride Month to watch that. I probably watch that movie every other month, if I'm being honest with you. To Wong Fu, if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend. It's got John Leguizamo, Patrick Swayze, and Wesley Snipes, and they're dressed in drag. I'll be honest with you guys, I was kind of raised on that movie. I think it's why I love sparkles and loud colors and feathers and all that kind of stuff. But favorite movie, so good. Highly recommend. You should watch it. But let's see what else. I feel like it's been a really jam-packed past few weeks with you all. I have had two guests. We had Taylor from Down Under. I thought my accent was pretty good, not gonna lie. Not this one, but the one on the episode. But I loved that episode. First off, she is such an incredible soul. Love that our paths crossed. And I hope you all enjoyed that episode too. And then last week was Chad and Ryan with their brewery opening, which I thought was so fascinating. I know it was like a little bit of different type of episode, but one, I love a good story, that especially somebody pursuing their passion. But I just want to say, so they had their opening last week and they did so well. They actually did better than they thought they were going to. So now they're like, rushing to get the rest of their new product out. So snaps for them. Glad that was a success. But yeah, the last time I talked to you all was like, I think my birthday. I recorded it on my birthday. Since my birthday, had a great time. My birthday, got to meet up with a bunch of my girlfriends. And like one thing about me, my love language, well, I have lots of love languages if I'm going to be honest with you. But one thing that I'm like very passionate about is when my people meet my other people and then they can meet the other people, then those people can meet those people. Because I have lots of different types of friends, like different types of friends. That sounded very weird. I mean like different groups of friends, different like social, I want to say circles because I have lots of individual friendships too. And I don't know, I love my people. And it was just really fun to have everyone there and see everyone mixing and mingling and see new friendships be born. Wow. Okay. Anyways, on that note, but had a great time. Great time as in maybe too good of a time. You know what I mean? I fell standing up. I'm not quite sure how that happened. Was there alcohol involved? Just a little bit, but not like enough. Like not by any means like drunk or anything, but I mean, I'd had a few drinks, but yeah, we were just standing there, and I blamed the fact that it was on a hill, on a slant, and I was in platform sneakers. They were cute, don't worry. And I don't know, all of a sudden, I just kind of fell in slow motion, and I fell like in a princess like pose. It was very weird. I literally fell in slow motion. I felt it. Time stood still. And then my friend Catherine, who was looking at me, I looked at her while laying there like in a princess outfit, princess like pose. And I'm like, I look at her and I'm like, Catherine, how did that happen? Did that happen? Like, how did I land here? And she looked at me and she's like, I don't know, but I feel like you fell in slow motion. I'm like, oh, I felt like I fell in slow motion. So I don't know. It was very bizarre, but got a battle wound from it. Jesus, y'all, like I busted my knee on this. And to have fallen so slowly and to have fallen the way I fell, I don't even know how I scraped it, but it was deep. And it really hurt. So I couldn't like work out for a week, but all good. But then me and Stan went to Blue Ridge for like a little weekend getaway. It was so nice. Oh, I loved it. We had a great view of the mountains and it was also so cool. It was like low 60s. Oh, it was nice. And then at night it was like 40s, mid 40s, which I love this kind of weather. So I enjoyed it. And what I didn't do really much of anything. We watched comedy specials. We cooked really good food. We got in the jacuzzi and we just relaxed, which is exactly what I wanted. It was so nice. We also made a campfire, which I think I'm like really into campfires. I don't mean it from like a pyro standpoint. Like, don't like worry. I'm not like burning shit, but I just love a good campfire. Maybe it's because I didn't have many growing up, I don't know. But I love it. I love a good campfire. Stan's like, okay, I'm over. I'm like, look, you forget you were an Eagle Scout. So you may have had your share of campfires. I have not. I will keep it alive. And you know what? It rained for like half a second and I kept it alive. Wow. I think I need to get out more. Here I am bragging about how I kept a fire alive on my podcast. Wow. Okay. So, anywho, what else? Oh, gosh. How could I forget this? So I'm not sure if you've seen the news, but Atlanta, the city of Atlanta, that is, had a actual meltdown this past weekend. We had probably like 5-6 water main breaks, and it was just like boom, ba-da-ba-doom, ba-da-boom, like it was like domino effect. It was wild. It was very wild. It was also wild seeing all the people like taking advantage of what was happening. Like they were like in like, I don't know, pool tubes or water floats, whatever you want to call them. And like, no shit, they were like going down the road in the water stream from the water main break as if it was like a water slide. So props to them for being innovative. I wish I had access to that. Unfortunately, I wasn't near the water main break. I was just heavily affected. Still am at the time of this recording. So hopefully by the time this comes out on Wednesday, that this will no longer be an issue for your girl. But I was, when it happened, like at least the first one, I was planning to go to my mom's house that night anyway. This was Friday because Stan's out of town with having a guys' weekend at the lake. And when I got there, that's when like subsequent more mains broke. And so I was able to go to her local grocery store and get water before I came back. So that was kind of clutch, but it's fixed now. It's just like, I guess they're testing it and all this kind of stuff. But either way, these are my woes. It's all good. It's all fine. To be honest, I feel like the city really jumped into action to get their shit together. Maybe not quite at first, but it was also kind of insane how it all happened. I don't know why I'm getting all preachy about this on the podcast. Jesus. But all good. I've also made some new friends. You know, I feel like I'm getting really good at making Instagram friends. Is that weird? You know what? I don't think so. I love it. It's how you meet people nowadays. Maybe it's just me too. Maybe it's just how I meet people because I like feel like I'm always leaving my apartment, but at the same time, I'm never leaving my apartment. So gotta figure that out. Oh my gosh. I feel like there's like also so many things like since we last talked. So I totally forgot. We went on a family reunion. Well, on is probably the wrong word. Well, I guess on, but we went to a family reunion for Stan's side of the family. It was like his grandmother on his dad's side. It was in the middle of nowhere. It was like 3 hours away actually, but it was kind of cool. There was a lot of people because it was like based off of these 4 brothers. So it was a lot of family. And we got to meet 3rd cousins, 4th cousins. It was really fun. And we went to this really cool state park. It was called Magnolia Springs State Park. Yes, Springs. And now we're kind of like South Georgia. I think we're like southeast, like going towards the coast, but not quite towards the coast, you know. But there was Spanish moss. But anyways, we are at the state park and it's like beautiful because like spring water is super, super clear, right? So it's this beautiful, clear. You can see like to the bottom, all the fishes and the turtles and all that fun stuff. And then I see all these like alligator signs and, you know, I'm thinking to myself, oh, is there an alligator? Like what's going on? And I'm walking up closer to the I don't know, river bank. I don't know what you want to call it. Stream. I guess river makes sense. And it's on the other side, and don't worry, there was like plenty of distance between us, but there is this giant alligator, and by giant, that's by Liz's standards, but it was like at least 6 feet with tail. It was a decent size. And you know, here lately, I don't know if I've said this before, but my Facebook algorithm, because I hardly ever get on Facebook, but side note, my algorithm is very peculiar. It is nothing like any of my other social media. So I get like very extreme sport videos, which terrify me, extreme heights, amusement park rides, terrifying shit in the ocean, like shark attacks. Well, not attacks, but just like shark encounters, big whales. I don't know, things like that. And then I also get like wildlife. And since this, I have learned how mother effing fast a freaking alligator can run on land. It is shocking. It is shocking how fast they can run. So I'm looking at this alligator thinking, oh shit, I need to back it up. So I'm taking some steps back, but I can tell he's not like coming to me. He's going to like the bridge where people are like throwing, I don't know, fruit or something to the turtles. So he's swimming over there and I run to the bridge to get a better view of him and like, oh my God, like this thing is huge. And yes, I recognize I'm going off about an alligator, but I don't know if I've ever really seen one in the wild. He had 3 legs. Not sure if he lost one in a battle or lost one at birth, because otherwise he looked perfectly fine. Like there was not really any kind of scars or anything. Looked really healthy. So that's why my money's on as a baby. But decent sized croc, beautiful water. So you could see like this great view of it. Either way, I was a little shocked, and then I was like, time to go, time to skedat. So yes, now when I see all those videos of people who walk past alligators, I'm like, y'all crazy. Y'all crazy. I was so intimidated with that thing being across the way. I was like, no, ma'am, not today. Let's go. Oh, went to the Renaissance Festival this past weekend. Lots of fun. If you haven't heard of it, I highly recommend you Google it, see if your state has it, because it is so fun. It's a little nerdy, sure. But you know what? While I was there with 2 of my girlfriends, I was thinking to myself, everyone's having a great time. Everyone is happy. Everyone is embracing everyone. I mean, yes, half the people are dressed up, but who cares? Everyone's embracing it because everyone's just embracing their inner nerd. And I don't know what magic is in the Renaissance Festival, but I feel like if we can figure it out, that might be a good way to bring peace to society. That's all I'm saying. Maybe we all need to have like a cosplay night. Maybe we all need to watch Lord of the Rings. That's a little depressing, so maybe not. But I don't know. Find some in between of Lord of the Rings, but like make it light, family appropriate. And then I'll just love each other. I don't know. Just saying. I bought a shit ton of incense, not gonna lie. I don't know why. I just am such a sucker for that kind of stuff. Do I burn incense all the time? Absolutely not. Would you think so? Absolutely yes. So a little peculiar, but that's okay. They smell really good, so that's where she's been bebopping. I've been bebopping all over the place. But don't worry, I'm not stressed. Not really. Although I can tell I'm starting to unravel just a little bit because I have you can't see it, but I have piles behind me, piles of priorities. And I really only get like this when I start to I'm not overwhelmed, but I am really trying hard not to feel stressed and overwhelmed and also get shit done. So I don't know. It's like outward compartmentalizing. If that makes any sense. Who's with me? Anybody like that? But at least my to-do lists haven't turned too crazy, but I also haven't made a new one in a while. So I'm kind of at the mercy of Post-it notes at the moment. So maybe I'm just lying to myself. I'm not sure. Oh, anyways, okay, so let's just get to the chase. Bridgerton. Have we watched Bridgerton? I know it's only part 1. I'm foaming at the mouth for part 2. It feels different, and from what I've read online, is because the showrunner is different. I didn't hate it. I think Penelope, our girl, she looks beautiful. Freaking loved that deep green dress she wore. It was like the French style. Oh, that's her color. I also love that color myself. But yeah, she was looking flawless. I still loved it. I think my favorite season so far is season 2. I know some people didn't like it, but I love a good enemies to lovers storyline. And I really liked Anthony and Kate's. Their chemistry just really seals the deal. But I really enjoyed this season. I feel like we're going to all be... how about me say this? All of us who feel a little, it's a little different. I feel like we're not going to feel that way so much after part 2 is over. Because, I don't know. Part 2 looks like where all the drama is. So, I'm holding out. I'm also very anxious because, obviously, Colin's going to have to find out she's whistled down. And I'm very stressed. Wondering what's going to happen down with that. I also want her and Eloise to be friends again because that stresses me out. So, we'll see. We'll see what's going to happen. Is Cressida going to get with the other guy? Lord, whatever. The agricultural, plant guy who's I don't know if I love you. But I love plants and animals, so I may be gone for some years. But, I could grow to be very fond of you. If you haven't watched this season yet, then you have no idea what the hell I'm talking about. But I really, I love Bridgerton. So I mentioned earlier that Stan was out of town this weekend for a guy's weekend. So I had some alone time for myself, and I started watching and pretty much almost finished. I have 30 minutes left of Queen Charlotte, which is the story of how the Queen of Bridgerton meets her husband, the king. Oh my gosh. If you haven't watched that show, and you like Bridgerton, I mean, shit, even if you don't like Bridgerton, if you just want some good TV, that show is amazing. I cried, I screamed. Well, I didn't really scream, that's dramatic, but I actually did definitely cry. I giggled. It was so good. It had so much depth. It was like, it was beautiful. I loved it more than Bridgerton. It had like some kind of magic, I guess, that was different. Like definitely had more depth than Bridgerton. It does such a good job at highlighting the king's illness. And, of course, it doesn't go into what it is because I don't think they had any terminology for that back then. It was just madness. But I've read online that it resembles like schizophrenia, something like that. And I feel like the actor did such a good job with it. Oh my God, it was so good. I want to watch it again. I want more of it. Oh, have you seen it? If you've seen it, please DM me so we can talk about it because I'm not sure why I haven't watched it because it came out like last year, but maybe just because like it's hard for me to watch TV and pay attention nowadays. But God, it was so good. So good. I also got my girlfriend coming in town this weekend from Baltimore. Not sure if you remember, if you're new here, this is like an episode from like, I don't know, like over a year ago, last March. Her name is Cherise Rowe. She's coming in town. Can't wait. So I'm sure we're going to record an episode because like, why not? We're here in person. Duh. So much fun. I don't have like a full itinerary planned, but I've got a few ideas. So, fun fact, I'm not the best at planning things. Like, I could plan maybe an event, but like planning a trip, I'm not great at that. Does that make sense? I think I've mentioned this before. I'm sure I've mentioned this before. Planning shit gives me so much anxiety when it comes to like trips and things like this. This, not as much because I'm not going anywhere, but of course I want to give her a good time, show her a good time, right? Anyways, welcome to the Inner Thoughts of Liz Cheney. Hello, welcome to the podcast. I feel like I should be writing more blogs, as in like I've only written 2, but you know what? All in due time. We must pace ourselves, compartmentalize when you need to, right? Ooh, man, I'm still trying to build that routine. I need to start doing more mobility work, especially on my upper body and shoulders because of all my like shit up here. And it just is so surprising sometimes how we know we need to do all these things for ourselves, but yet we still don't. Really trying to adapt that doer mentality that Logan from a few weeks ago was talking about. No shit, I really have started trying to mentally think like that. Simply said, do it. Just do it. Why not? Such a foreign concept for someone with ADHD. Like, do it. You don't want me to like stew and think about it for like an hour, like, I don't know, a week or like a month. We're working on it. We're working on it. But anyways, in that wild ass ramble, God, it was like minutes of just chaos. Thanks for staying with me. I wanted to end this week's episode on just saying, hey, it is Pride Month, right? Yes. So I just want to say shout out to my LGBTQIA+ community. So everyone knows that you all have a place here on the In-Between. I hope you always feel that way. And for those who maybe don't identify with that group of people, I hope you're being a good ally to everyone, to your friends, to your community as well, to your colleagues. But you just never know. You never know. On the Human Rights Campaign website, there are lots of resources. So if you are looking for a place to start, if you are somebody looking for support, if you are looking for community, I highly recommend. I'm going to link it in the show notes. And yeah, I can't wait to see all the celebration pictures. I hope everyone has a fantastic month. And remember, being an ally, simply put, is using your voice to advocate for those less heard, or using your privilege to benefit all. It's just love. Love is love. And if you have a problem with it, why? That's what I think. So happy Pride. Go watch Wong Fu. That is your homework. If you haven't seen it yet, I swear to you it's so good. And I will see you next week on an all new In-Between. I'm your host, Elizabeth. Bye.